relationship between South Africa and Nigeria has generated much benefit to South Africa. Nigerian entertainment has become the continent's strongest force. South African broadcasters have benefited, streaming companies, concert promoters, advertisers, and media businesses have profited from Nigerian films, celebrities, cultural influences, and Nollywood is the third or second biggest movie industry in the world. And I am the founder of Nollywood. My name is Bob Ejike. And I have personally provided loads of content to South African media outfits in Nigeria. I'm talking about African Magic, which relies almost entirely on Nigerian content, almost entirely on Nollywood. We're talking about DSTV, which relies almost entirely on virtually free content from Nigerian artists. I remember when Charlie Boy took DSTV to court over the use of his materials from the Charlie Boy show, etc. At that same period, the DSTV was using my materials without payments. But I didn't take them to court because I was watching what was going on in terms of the development of art in Africa, for the growth of our culture, for us to be able to express our own reality to the world. And the collaboration between South African technology and Nigerian artistry was a great thing. I do not think that any party could claim superiority in the way that we are seeing from South Africa, as their commentators are constantly vilifying Nigerians, thinking in their stark ignorance that they have had nothing to benefit from Nigeria, that all Nigeria has provided them with have been criminal gangs and all kinds of things. The collaboration between Nigeria and South African artists continue to generate revenue and global attention for African entertainment as a whole, nonetheless. South Africa also benefits from Nigerian tourism, education, healthcare spending, and business travel. Nigerians visit South Africa for conferences, shopping, tourism, medical treatment, education, and investment opportunities. Nigerian students pay tuition fees to South African institutions, while Nigerian visitors spend money, loads of money, in hotels, restaurants, transport systems, shopping centers, and local businesses. Furthermore, Nigeria's size and influence have helped South African companies expand across Africa. I remember meeting the owner of ShopRite in a party in Kampala, Uganda, and he told me that the ShopRite, as at then, the ShopRite in Lagos makes more money than all the ShopRite branches in the whole of Africa. And this money is going to South Africa. Because some of the commentators think that when South African shareholders make money from Nigeria, it does not develop South Africa in their great intelligence. Of course, the money is going into the South African banks, which will turn into loans for investment, development of infrastructure, schools, hospitals, these hospitals from which they are throwing Nigerians and other Africans out. Part of the money used to build it came from Nigeria. Success in Nigeria gives South African businesses credibility and leverage when entering other African markets. Nigeria effectively serves as a gateway to West Africa, making it strategically valuable for South African corporate expansion. None of this means South Africa does not face genuine social challenges, of course. Unemployment, inequality, poverty, and crime remain serious national problems. 60% of the workforce is unemployed. So we can understand it when they think that it is the presence of a handful of Nigerian traders, roadside traders, that is making them to be unemployed. However, blaming foreigners alone for these difficulties oversimplifies the deeply rooted structural issues. Xenophobia cannot solve economic inequality, create sustainable jobs, or eliminate crime. Instead, it damages African unity, discourages investment, weakens regional cooperation, and creates unnecessary hostility among Africans. Can you imagine a situation where the whole of Africa decides to ban products from South Africa? South Africa is an industrial power which has little functional population to consume the products of its industry. South Africa has 51 million black people, most of who are living in poverty and don't have real buying power. The 4% white population that hold the land cannot do the buying. The rest of the 13% whites cannot constitute the market that can consume the humongous products coming out of this industrial powerhouse. And South Africa needs Africa more than Africa needs South Africa. Somebody needs to tell these people running around like Shaka Zulu with machetes and dressed up in animal skin and carrying spears in this day when others are going to the space, to the moon. The African of South Africa is still brandishing spears, running around to attack other Africans. Is it not a shame?